Mack, after all those years on Smallville playing sidekick to Clark Kent, Smallville's superhero, aka Superman, and all she learned was how to be a sidekick to a real-life supervillain. Actress Allison Mack gets 3 years in prison for role in NXIVM cult. June 30th, Rooter Smallville TV actress Allison Mack was sentenced 3 years in prison on Wednesday for a role in NXIVM, a New York-based cult in which women were branded with its leaders' initials in order to have sex with them. Mack, 38, was sentenced by District Judge Nicholas after pleading guilty in 2019 to racketeering and conspiracy. She is expected to begin serving her sentence on September 29th. Now, this is a girl that was deeply involved in this. She was very responsible. Let's recount her days from Smallville, where she played sweet little innocent Chloe Sullivan, the girl next door, the kind of nerdy odd girl out that couldn't get the boy of her dreams, Clark Kent. Clark Kent was in love with somebody else, and she couldn't get the time of day. Smallville was a great show. I watched the entire run of it. It had good and bad things about it. And Allison Mack, you can listen to the podcast of Michael Rosenbaum, who played Lex Luthor on the show, talking about how she was always eager to please and kind of seeking validation. Like a lot of people today, always seeking validation through representation and crap like that. Allison Mack was not manipulated. As much as she tries to pretend she was manipulated or coerced or whatever into this, misled, Allison Mack has always been this way. This has always been a part of her character. This eager to please her peers type person, seeking that kind of validation from somebody higher up than her. It's not somebody else responsible for this behavior. It is, unfortunately, her. She's a sick person, and one hell of an actress. Amazing actress. So amazing, in fact, that she could trick so many people into joining a sex cult. Granted, she gave up evidence that exposed a lot of this stuff and got this guy this hardcore sentence, this 120-year sentence, but she did it to save her own ass. And as she goes on, I'm so sorry for all this and that, I tearfully apologized to her victims and her family, saying, coming out from under this delusion has been the most difficult experience of my life. I don't care if she is guilty or feels any fucking thing at all. That was one hell of a performance. Give her an award and reduce her sentence. Boy, she played these people. Women were kept on starvation diets, branded with Rainer's initials, and in some cases coerced into sex with them. Leaders of the group were said to use nude photos and other compromising materials to keep lower-ranking members in line. Mack, who was both the slave of Rainer and master of other women, admitted in her guilty plea that she coerced 2 women into doing unpaid work by threatening to release damaging information about them. One victim, Jessica Jones, spoke at Wednesday's sentencing, saying Mack emotionally manipulated her and eventually ordered her to seduce Rainer with the promise that doing so would resolve her trauma from previous sexual abuse. Jones said she did not obey that order. Jones called Mack a predator and an evil human being and said she was cut from the same cloth as Rainer. I think she was going around to all these Comic-Cons and stuff because my nieces did photo ops with her. I think that she's this kind of person. This to all these young, impressionable women and children, knowing that she was involved in this kind of stuff. Garfias, if I'm saying that name right, said that Mack has been an essential accomplice in Rainer's monstrous crimes, rejecting her lawyer's plea for a sentence of home confinement or probation. However, the judge agreed with prosecutors that she deserved credit for cooperating against Rainer, warranting a sentence much lower than the 14 years called by federal guidelines. He also said he believed that her remorse was sincere. But she's an actress, dude. She is fucking tricking you. You are a fool for falling for her. because everybody, Michael Rosenbaum, she was like everybody says like, oh, she was like the nicest, sweetest person ever, and that's the impression you get from her too when you meet her at like a Comic-Con or whatever. She comes off really nice, but that's because this is a fucking amazing actress. She is not sorry for a goddamn thing she did. Whistleblower Jessica Jones told Fox News that she wishes that Mack had received a longer sentence. I feel that there is an amount of time in her lifetime to pay back the pain, damage, and devastation her actions caused. In a statement, the actress noted that the judge was faced with complexity when making their decision, but that Mack's victimization at the hands of NXIVM does not take away her responsibility and ramifications for her actions. She was not operating brainlessly in this situation. Allison Mack knew exactly what she was doing. It doesn't matter how young and impressionable or eager to please she is. It's part of who she is as a person, and she did this shit willingly. She was not manipulated into doing it. This is who she is. She is a terrible person and an amazing actress. This is why I don't fawn over any Hollywood celebrities or whatever. They're amazing actors. They're jesters. They get on stage, entertain you. But the reality is, a lot of them are absolutely terrible people, and they'll sell out anyone to better themselves. Some claim that Mack gained pleasure in creating harm and destruction in her victims, and said that she was previously ingrained with evil, but that the organization activated and cultivated it. So Allison Mack would say, devoting herself to self-improvement guru was the biggest mistake and greatest regret of my life, she wrote in a letter filed with the court last week. I'm so sorry to those of you that I brought into NXIVM. I'm sorry I ever exposed you to the nefarious and emotionally abusive schemes of a twisted man. What about a twisted woman? This dude gets this big of a sentence in comparison to her. Amber Heard, for instance. Johnny Depp gets blacklisted over their toxic relationship, but Amber Heard is equally, if not more guilty than Johnny Depp of anything. She is a monster. But women get a lighter sentence. What are your thoughts and opinions? Fake good one here. Eventually we will. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff. And are you interested in seeing the Smallville revival that won't include her? Has Michael Rosenbaum and what's his face that played Clark Kent, Tom Welling. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Stay awesome. Rock on.